What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're with Chris, and today I'll be doing the Booktube Journey Tag, a tag that I came across recently, and given that I've been on Booktube for a couple of years now, I thought it would be fun to take a stab at these 15 prompts. So let's get into it with prompt number 1. How long have you been watching Booktube? Now, I've been watching Booktube since about March of 2021, and in general I've been watching YouTube overall for about 10 years, I would imagine. Prompt number 2. How long have you been making Booktube videos? I've been making Booktube videos since October of 2021, and that puts it to 2 years and 8 months, I think. Prompt number 3. What made you start making videos? I think COVID had a lot to do with it. When COVID hit and then lockdown was enforced, I went from working an office job where I was interacting with my co-workers in person to working from home, which is very lonely, and I think that was the biggest impact on me, and had no one to reach out to. And during that time, during lockdown, I was starting to read a bit of fantasy and wanted to read more of it. And I didn't know quite what was out there. I wanted recommendations on what I should read in the fantasy genre. So after trolling Booktube for a little while, I came across Mike's book reviews, where he was at the time reading Malazan Book of the Fallen by Stephen Erickson. And I thought that sounded really interesting to me, and as I watched more of his videos, it was the way he did things that inspired me to create my own channel and start making my own videos. And I thought, I love books and reading, so I was halfway there, and the rest sort of fell into place, and it turns out that I had a fair bit to say. And the main reason I wanted to start making videos was to connect with people and share my thoughts and impressions on books, and just talk about reading in general, and pick up subscribers along the way, but network with people and discover friends on Booktube, which that's basically how I made my start with making videos. Prompt number 4. Are there any people who have played a significant role in your Booktube journey? Absolutely. Aside from Mike, there has been Scott Bryant of the Bookish Bryants, which is an awesome channel. Now, unfortunately, Scott is no longer with us, and may he rest in peace, but he was responsible for scooping me up out of the doldrums of depression, and gave me a bit of a lift in confidence, because I didn't have many subscribers, and he saw my channel and liked it so much that he thought, why hasn't this guy got more subscribers? He took me under his wing and invited me into his own community, where I networked and began to make friends with some of his friends on Booktube. And I like to think of those Booktubers, they know who they are, and I view them as my foundation subscribers, which I really value, and I still hold them in high regard today. And in fact, with a lot of them, we're still doing reading projects together, which is a real buzz for me, and just helps with my confidence on Booktube in general. And of course, there is also John from over at Talking Story, who's one of my top Booktubers and a really good friend. His enthusiasm for the written word is very contagious, and he's very genuine and really good in front of the camera. He gets animated about his books, which is really exciting, and it's just good to see someone who enjoys reading so much. And after having him on the channel for the first time quite a few months ago, we struck up an instant friendship, where now we've had a couple of live streams together. We're both reading the Cosmere at the moment, and we're about to do another live stream buddy read for Rhythm of War, which is book 4 in the Stormlight archive. We both want to be up to date for Stormlight book 5 in December, and haven't looked back, and it just makes me really happy that I can speak to John and message him as well about whatever book we're buddy reading at the time, and exchanging notes and things like that. So so there's definitely quite a few key people that have been really significant in my Booktube journey. Prompt number 5. What kind of books do you like to read? I like to read thrillers mainly. It's my jam. It's my area of expertise. I've read a lot in the genre over many years, but I'm reading a lot more fantasy now. More specifically, Brandon Sanderson. I have been infatuated with his work this year, and am equally fascinated with the Cosmere, and that journey is continuing, which I'm really happy about. But of course, I really like horror as well, being a massive Stephen King fan from the very beginning, and Dean Koontz, Richard Lehman, and a few others. So horror is a very big makeup of my reading tastes at the moment. Prompt number 6. How has that changed since you started on Booktube? So I've branched out a little bit in the past with reading certain classics, which was a real experience, and I should read more of them. I've also stepped outside my comfort zone where I've gotten into a little bit of manga in recent months as well, which has been great fun. I've read most of Death Note, the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service, which is a real hoot, and I've also started Attack on Titan as well a few months ago, and I really need to get back into that. Not sure whether I'll go with One Piece at the moment, which is being talked about a lot on Booktube, but I'll never say never, and one day I may just pick that up. But yeah, definitely have branched out from my comfort zone in recent years. Prompt number 7. What kind of videos do you like to make? I prefer to make all kinds of long form videos. I am particularly excited to create bookshelf tours. Book hauls is another massive one which I really enjoy making and watching, and I really like doing my forthcoming reading possibilities for the next month coming up, and the book reviews themselves that I post, which is a lot of fun. It's mainly the long form videos I enjoy doing, but they're the main types of videos I really like to make. Prompt number 8. How has that changed since you started on Booktube? Do you think your video making style has changed over time? Yes, most definitely. In particular, my book reviews didn't really have a lot of structure in recent months. I used to just ramble and forget things, but now I've put a specific structure in place for my reviews so that I don't miss anything. So what I'll do is I'll start with the cover blurb, a brief description of the plot in my own words. Then I'll talk about characters and pacing and world building and writing quality, standout moments, final thoughts, any negatives, that sort of thing. So, and I create timestamps where I use that as a guide so that I talk about everything and include it in the video as well, so people can watch the whole review, or if they want to find out more about just the characters, they can. But it's definitely much more structured, and my editing skills have grown a bit too. So I use a program called Adobe Premiere, which is very, very good. It's very easy, very interactive. I use a lot of pictures of books that I put up on my videos on the display to my right hand side, and I've become a lot more proficient at it and a lot more lot quicker at editing, which is really, really handy when you want to just get the videos done. Prompt number 9. Do you script and or edit your videos, and has that changed over time? Yeah, look, I'm a scripter and I have to stop it, because when I do a script for a video, I tend to have detailed notes. I just can't help it. It's how I'm wired. So what I'm thinking of doing in the future is to just use dot points. If I use dot points, I can't trip over my words too much, because if I'm looking at my screen with a script on any given video, sometimes I might lose my place that I'm referring to, and it does make it very difficult, and I find myself using a lot of takes because I do stumble over my words. I just feel that I have to teach myself and develop new habits to work from dot points rather than paragraphs, because it does make things very, very difficult. So the scripting is something I'm definitely looking at improving in the near future, because writing out copious amounts of text to read from and look at the camera and go back and forth from the script to the camera doesn't quite work, and makes the whole video look a little bit clunky. So I'm going to try for a more organic approach so that I can cover off everything I need to by just referring to dot points rather than paragraphs. So we'll see how that pans out. Prompt number 10. What is the most viewed video on your channel? Well, it has to be a new Jack Reacher book announcement I did back on the 29th of January 2022. It's had 2,261 views, which for my channel, it is massive. Now, it boggles the mind because the thumbnail here was absolutely rubbish, and I don't know how people have been attracted to it. I didn't do anything special. I didn't really use much in the way of tags back then. And what it's done is a video like this has just astounded me on its popularity. Prompt number 11. What is your favorite video you've ever made? I think for me it has to be my first annual Bookish Brilliance Awards from 2023. I wanted to think of a new way to wrap up my reading year, and I came up with this theme where I would take all the books that stand out to me and put them into nominated categories for my own, kind of like an Oscars themed show, where all the books that are in contention had different categories. So I had something with the best cover design, the best twist in a novel, the best favorite character, the best series, all sorts of categories. And it was interesting to give a really honest self-examination on what I liked in terms of books last year, and it turned out really, really well, because I actually had about 4 or 5 nominations before selecting an ultimate winner for each category. And my book of the year was very, very honestly done and did really well. And the indication of how good a book was the fact that this particular book, The Year of the Locust by Terry Hayes, actually won my best book of the year, because it also won a couple of other categories as well. So it was a really good inaugural video, which I'm now confident to continue that tradition, and I will be doing the 2024 Bookish Brilliance Awards this year as well, because they are a lot of fun to make, because I actually make myself into an announcer, like they do at the Academy Awards. Now the nominees are, and you list the books, and then I would have some suspense before I announce the winner. I would say, and the winner is, and there will be a beat for about 10 seconds before revealing the winners. And it was just a fantastic exercise, and really, really happy with how that turned out. So I will be continuing that in the future. Prompt number 12. Do you have a favourite book you read because of Booktube? Not really. I mean, there have been a lot of recommendations that have come out of Booktube that have been added to my unlimited TBR. But if I was to single out a book, I'd have to go with The Way of Kings, Stormlight Archive, Book 1 by Brandon Sanderson, because I did see a lot of Booktube videos about the book, and it obviously had an impact on me and fueled my curiosity, and I just had to read it. So based on recommendations from Booktube, definitely The Way of Kings stands out to me. Prompt number 13. Do you have a favourite Booktube experience to tell us about? Yes, I have a recent experience that I would like to tell you about. Recently, the UK cover for Wind and Truth, which is book 5 in the Stormlight Archive, being released in December, and I knew the cover reveal was coming, and I was all over it like a rash. And as soon as it came up on my radar, I was straight straight in front of the camera, and I recorded the video with no script, because I wanted to show the cover before anyone else on Booktube. And it turns out that for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, I outranked Daniel Green in the search feed for Wind and Truth, the book cover. And that was a real highlight for me, because I've never had a top-ranked video before, and all respect to Daniel. He is an awesome booktuber, and he's got thousands and thousands of subscribers, where I haven't even got 600. But you know, hats off to him. He's a very good booktuber, and it was just nice to shine in the light for 5 minutes of being the top video in a search feed. I think that was a real buzz, so nothing much would come close to that at the moment, but we'll see what happens in the future, because I am all ready to go with the US cover reveal when Tor Books decide to reveal it. And I don't know when they're going to be revealing it, but we'll just see, won't we? Prompt number 14. What does your book collection look like? Well, have a look behind me. That's a glimpse. It's not the full collection, because some of the books are out of the frame, but if you want to catch my latest bookshelf tour video, which I've put up here for your reference, take a look at it, because I do go through the books in a little bit more detail and give you an up-close look. But I'm pretty happy with my collection as it stands at the moment. Prompt number 15. What advice would you give to new people starting a Booktube channel? Now, if you're thinking of starting a channel and you feel intimidated, just remember, if you love books and reading, you're halfway there, and everything else will come naturally. Be yourself. Don't copy anyone else. It is okay to draw inspiration from your favorite booktubers, but I think you need to have a point of difference on your channel, something that stands out and makes you unique. For example, my channel is all about spoiler-free reviews, so it's an integrity thing where I don't like to spoil books for other people unless I give specific warning, which doesn't happen very often. But I'm all about spoiler-free, and just try and think of something that makes you stand out, something you do a little bit differently. And as I said, you can draw inspiration from booktubers, have a look and see what they do, which makes them stand out, and adapt it, make up your own special secret sauce of your channel. Be consistent, post regularly, and try and post your videos at the same time every week and the same time of day. Then your audience will know when to expect your videos. For example, I think it's very important to pay attention to YouTube Studio, in particular the audience component, where you can see how many people are active on YouTube at any time of the day, and they're marked with purple bars. And if you go by that, you'll get more eyes on your videos. Because I have a really big US audience, or I like to think I have a big US audience, and I'm from Australia, I post my videos at about between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. Because that is when a lot of the US are awake and get eyes on my videos. So just maintaining that consistency on posting them at the same time and on the same days every week. I'll do my weekly update on a Sunday here in Australia, and it goes up on a Monday or Sunday in the US, so I make sure I do that the same time every week. Don't worry about fancy equipment, okay? Your mobile will do just fine when you're first starting out, and you don't need an expensive microphone either. I'm using a $20 mic here that you can see off Facebook Marketplace for $20, and it does the job just fine. I did start out with a fisheye lens, which was terrible. If you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll notice the fisheye effect there, which was terrible. I use a Razor ring light camera now, which I absolutely love, and it does the job, but it's inexpensive as well. I don't have any expensive lighting. I've got an overhead light and a really nice window here that gives ample light to my requirements. If you want some decent thumbnails, look no further than Canva, the free desktop publishing program. Before I used Canva, my thumbnails were terrible, and here's one here where it's painful to look at. It was just a still picture of me talking from the video and some text put on the bottom. Absolutely woeful, and it's very embarrassing to show you that, but it's interesting how once I discovered Canva and learnt to use it, how my thumbnails have grown and evolved over time. If you look back at all my old videos, they do tell a story, and they evolve with different elements added, and they get up to a standard that I have today, which is one of my latest thumbnails here that you can see, and you can see that the text is bigger. I have nice artwork in the background and just have everything I need. My Unlimited Reads badge always prominent in the bottom or top corner, depending on what kind of video I'm posting. But I love this creative process of making thumbnails and using AI sometimes as well, which I'm not guilty about. And I always make my thumbnails ahead of time. If I know the book I'm going to be talking about, I'll make up the thumbnail so that I am ready to go. But yeah, if you do have a look at Canva, you can make some. It's free. You can also subscribe to it to open up extra features, but I think the free features work for me just fine. Some more advice I'd give: network with people. Look at commenting on booktubers' videos and participate in live streams that your favorite booktubers put on, because you can actually integrate with other people in the chat, ask questions. If you're always appearing on live streams, you will get your name known, and people might actually subscribe to your channel as a result. So always network, participate in buddy reads, and just offer up any comments about books you've read that are being spoken about in a live stream. It all helps. And finally, my most valuable piece of advice to any new booktuber is be patient. If you want to get into booktube to make millions of dollars, I suggest trying something else. I do this for the love of reading and books. It's never about money for me. If I get monetized, that's fine. If not, it doesn't matter. But you have to be patient, because it does take time to build momentum. And there are a couple of times where I was thinking about quitting, and I decided not to. I wanted to keep going, and I'm glad I did. But it's a long-term thing. It's taken me almost 3 years to get to almost 600 subscribers. Now, there are other booktubers out there that have had meteoric rises and have gone up to thousands of subscribers, and nothing but respect to them. But in your own case, don't expect to have overnight success. Okay, you've got to work at it. You have to think about ways to improve. Always think of different content for the channel. If something's not working, you've got to try something else. And yeah, but all the best if you are thinking of starting Booktube. The more the merrier. Just don't put it off. If you've got no fancy equipment, it's more important to get the content out and get your face on camera and get out there, and you can always fix up and upgrade later on. So there you go, guys. That is it for my Booktube Journey Tag. Now, if you've been watching this, you consider yourself tagged. I'll tag everyone, and I would love to see those answers. But thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers, and I will promise to deliver the best content I can. As per usual, offer up any comments below. But until the next video, guys, happy reading.